Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the What's in Your Head podcast.
Digitized live from the ACT Computer Studios in Cape Coral, Florida, it's the What's in Your Head podcast with your hosts Gordon and Don Abernathy.
What's up, OG5? It's another Saturday, and we're coming to you live via Facebook live stream and YouTube live stream. I just want to thank you guys for joining us each and every weekend. Joining us, as always, from Las Vegas. See, I almost went with that live nonsense again, but obviously we are live. Joining us from Vegas is Gordon. Gordon, what is going on, friend?
What is going on is the Las Vegas Golden Knights have got their first place seed in the deal. So we are going up against the Blackhawks.
How short of a season was that this year? Was it like the short bus equivalent of a season?
It's been 4 months since they've played, so I don't even remember. It was a couple of months short, for sure.
Short. Whew. It's been a crazy.
Good to be watching sports, like at least hockey, you know.
Yeah, right. I think there's going to be I think, it's weird that they're having a super short season because it would be interesting to see what the actual numbers would be without a asterisk next to it. Due to the shortened season, just to see with all the crazy politics that's being pumped into all the other sporting venues, how much the hockey ratings would go up if they went up at all. Let's be honest, they may not go up at all. Some people just don't like hockey.
Yeah, but baseball is pretty much eliminated at this point.
Yeah. So
we'll see. Just, again, glad to see something. Get the mind off the BS that's going on right now, you know?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We're staring at his belly button today, ladies and gentlemen.
I had a glare on my glasses, and I was trying to do everybody a favor by, it's my ring light. That's what it is. It's the ring light that's giving me the glare. So we'll just switch that up again.
And here we go. And he reaches and he stretches. And does he make it? Is the glare now gone from the glass?
I turned down the ring light glare. It's a little less. But I have to say the ring light definitely makes the quality of the image look better. So that's that.
Indeed. So how is life faring in Southwest Flala Land?
It's been rough in my house this last, 7 or 8 days. My neighbor's pool pump is gone.
Wait, is this?
Go ahead.
I think there was a video, I believe, right?
Yes, there was. But my neighbor's pool pump has been going bad for since last Thursday, but it started out just a low hum. And I'm not the type of person who likes to complain or give people grief. And so we just dealt with it. And as the week progressed, it got louder and louder, to which it came to a crescendo yesterday.
Yesterday, huh?
Or what? I don't even remember. Yes, Friday. Because that's when I put the video up, right? Friday?
Yes, it is. I was wondering if it had actually gotten worse than that.
Well, it got super loud, and Carrie actually had a migraine for the last 3 days, and Loki is blind, as we all know, and as they always tell us, blind people depend on their other senses more.
Correct.
And we all know cats and dogs have what they tell us, sensitive hearing. At least that's what we've been led to believe our entire lives. I assume that's true. And Loki had been doing a lot of circles, been getting real irritated, attacking people. And I can't blame that on the pool pump. I'm half suspicious that that's probably what it is. But it got to the point where Friday night, it went from a low hum to the sound of almost like metal on metal. So not only is there a low hum, there is a loud rattle to it. And it got to the point where 4 o'clock this morning. No, Thursday. No, it was Thursday night it got super loud, right? Yeah, it was Thursday
This
night.
thing has really messed with you, I could tell.
Well, it was Thursday night that it got super loud to the point that when I woke up Friday morning, I went over there and knocked on the door because at 3 o'clock in the morning I had to turn my TV on and sleep with the TV on just to get the sound out of my head. And I ended up going knocking on the door first thing in the morning and asking them to turn it off, to which they happily obliged. And then a few short hours later, they turned it on again, but they let it run until dark time, and then they turned it off.
Well, that's good that they're helping you out.
Yeah, but it fired up again at 10 o'clock this morning.
Well, they got to keep it filtering or it's going to turn into a mess.
And that's not what I'm saying. But they let it run from 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I talked to my buddy Zach, who has an in-ground pool. He lets his run 4 hours a day. This isn't an in-ground pool. It's an above-ground pool. So the pump is right next on the pool itself, which their bedrooms are on the other side of their house. Their pump is like diagonally 15 feet from my window, and it just rattles. And like Zach said, I let mine run for 4 hours a day. Why they need to run the pump on a 5-foot deep pool that's maybe 25 feet in diameter for 7 hours? They could probably have that thing completely cleaned out in 2.5.
So we're talking like one of these pools you'd find at a
Yeah, at a Walmart. Yeah, before COVID, because after COVID they're gone. You couldn't find them anywhere. They're completely sold out.
Nearly a pool to be found.
And so that's been going. I told Carrie last night we're waiting for this thing to turn off. Carrie's like, if this thing doesn't turn off, get your guitar amp, put it on the back porch, and just lean your guitar up against it.
And just walk away.
But I don't want to go to war because these are the neighbors I get along with. But it's just like.
For now.
It's just creating such a bad headache, man. It's unbearable. It's just painful.
Well, speaking of shitty neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
I have a shitty neighbor, and I guess I'm going to have to go through the video.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if we've talked about this, but, out here, you walk your dogs. It's required for them to be on a leash, and there is no grass.
Nope, everything's artificial turf.
There's no artificial turf. It's all gravel and shrubs and sidewalk and road. So doggies have to take a doo-doo. Where do we prefer to go?
Not in my gravel.
Well, apparently on top of my bushes, shrubs, and my one thing of fucking grass.
Well, there you go. I mean, if you're a dog, where would you poop?
Look, that's fine if he shits there for the owner. Swear to God, dude, you got to pick that shit up.
Well, if
literally.
everybody had an action vest like Bailey has, hers has a little pocket with it looks like a little purple flag, but it's dog poop bags you pull out.
Oh yeah, our HOA has gone far enough to provide bags and a disposal area for these.
Kind of like when you go to the veterinarian, they have the little trash bucket outside.
That's exactly it. They've even hired. I say we because I am a homeowner. Even
also
hired
on
a
the board,
pooper
aren't you?
scooper service. Oh yeah, I am, but we won't go into that.
What's up, Morgan Log checking in? Facebook Live.
Yeah, I even hired up a pooper scooper service. Come to find out, they don't do it out of your front yards. That's for the landscapers. And I'm half wondering if maybe landscapers are just being shitty and
No pun
finding
intended.
turds and dropping them on our plants because it's just like, what the hell?
Is
you
your
know?
is your hypothesis that they're doing that as a form of job security?
No, I think it's literally a dog doing it. It's the same dog. It's the same. I've had to become a little bit of a fecal investigator.
So Matt Spinelli's in the channel, and we were at his house last week for Carrie's birthday, and Carrie talked about Bailey's action vest, and everybody made fun of us. They think it's the funniest thing in the world that we call Bailey's vest an action vest. But if you look at it, it's literally a harness with a built-in backpack. It's got a handle so that if she falls into a ravine, you can pick her out. It's got, clamps and clips, and like you're a rock climber. And if everybody's dog had an action vest, you wouldn't have these problems. So go out and get your dog a Kong quote-unquote action vest, because when Bailey puts it on, she's in full action mode.
Does her demeanor change?
Yeah, well, it depends if she's getting a pup cup, if she's laying in a bed, or if she's camping. If she's camping, she's rolling around all over the place. Apparently, she was out doing zoomies in the backyard with one of my flip-flops in her mouth before the show started. But
Either way, she now has a handle.
absolutely, she has a handle, and I can pick her up. So as we know, Carrie went, when Carrie first started TikTok, started this COVID, she posted that video with Loki and the aforementioned Bailey, and it got over 500,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
What is the official requirement for before you can label a video quote unquote viral?
Probably over a mil.
Okay. Well, I think 500,000's viral.
It's got that 1M.
Okay. I duetted a
I'm
video.
sorry.
No, that's all right. That's why I asked the question. I didn't know the answer. So I was on TikTok yesterday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday. Once again, the pool pumps got me all discombobulated. I have no idea what fucking day it is.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to mess with Don, just drop a noisy pool pump next to his window.
It's like living during hurricane season, but your neighbors have the world's shittiest fucking generators. So
Ugh.
instead of the low hum, it's got the high pitched rattle. But anyhow, Cage the Elephant. You familiar with that song? Ain't no rest for the wicked.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
Otherwise known
Money
as the
don't grow
Borderland
on
theme song.
trees. Yes,
I got bills to pay and mouth to feed, and nothing in this world's for free.
you got it.
So this guy, they have a thing on TikTok where you call duets. You can either make a joke, you can make it so you're interacting with someone's previous video and it shares it. So this
Okay.
guy has this acoustic guitar and he says he's singing the first, because once again TikTok limits you to a minute long video. You can either do 30 seconds or a minute. And so he has written on the video, musicians duet this, and he's doing that song. And I'm laying in my bed and I said, that's an easy song to play, but I don't think so. I got to looking on YouTube, looking at the tablature, and I noticed my suspicions were correct. And the first chorus and the first verse of that song is just one person and a guitar. So there's nothing to duet, right? If we were a band doing a cover song and we're at the bar, he would be opening up the song and the drummer would just be sitting there smoking a cigarette. The bass player would be kind of dancing around, leaning around, and the rhythm guitarist wouldn't be doing anything either. And I said, well, this is perfect. So I got out my bass guitar, went out in the garage, and I duetted this, and I put in the title, I'll cover the bass part. And so he's singing, da-da-da, and I'm just dancing around, just kind of swaying and doing what a bass player do on stage when they're not doing anything and just waiting. And then right before the end of the first the first chorus, I write across the top, this is where the bass part kicks in.
Okay.
And right when he ends the video, I look at him like, what the, as if we were playing Saturday Night Live and they cut the commercial quick. So the whole band had packed up their gear, got there, and none of us got to play a note except for him because it went to
The
commercial.
rock star is the only one who got all the attention. Right?
And so I made that face.
Yeah.
And I posted it and went about my day. And I start getting all these follows and likes. I'm like, what the? And I went and I checked I didn't even check the guy's page before I duetted him. He had like 21,000 followers. I'm like, well, okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, and so this thing's getting views and likes, and all of a sudden, a couple hours later, it's well over 21,000. I'm like, okay, we've surpassed his followers. I only have 1,000 followers, so clearly this thing's showing up on people's For You page. And as of today, I have gained, when I woke up this morning, I had 1,056 followers. Right now, I'm on 2,053. That video has the highest views of any video I've done and has 210,000 views right now. But the greatest part is the comments. What's making this thing blow up is two things.
Get
Well, three.
trolled.
One, well, that's kind of part of it. One, there are the small select 20% who gets the joke that the song doesn't kick in until after the first chorus. But where all the views are coming, you get comments like, dude, you literally just stood there. You didn't play a note. Just because you have music equipment doesn't make... And there's people who are like ragging on me for just standing there.
Dude, it's called a joke.
Well, if it's a joke, you have to explain. It's not funny. Well, the other people, as more and more people watch it, people start clowning those comments like, you clearly don't know the song. Go watch the original song. And people start standing up for me. But the fact that, A, the original source had 21,000 followers helped. B, the fact that I just stood there and people don't get the joke. Some people are like, I completely wasted my time watching the video. Some people are like, oh, what a true talent and all this stuff.
Whatever, you're just taking a crap anyway.
But no, it's so funny. One guy, because I'm out in my garage and I have Steve behind me in the airborne uniform that I did from the YouTube video. One guy's like, which would be me if I was watching this. He's like, is that a reproduction Daisy May or is that original? And I replied back, well, Daisy May's a floppy HBT hat. That's a Mae West vest. But no, it is a June 1945. I just got...
He had to fucking shit on his point anyway. He was trying
So
to give
one
you-
guy was interested in the World War II thing behind it. But no, this is... It's... Cool thing is like my follows have gotten up, but my other videos have 80
Let's find a way to
80
translate
views.
that into YouTube.
Well, I did take a scene from last week's video where I made the joke about the drive safely, and it has 296 views. So
Oh, there you go.
So, and then I replied to the guy who asked about the Mae West vest, and I did another video, and so I have slowly been trying to get, people to come over to the Digital 410 page, and I guess now maybe the TikTok buyout negotiations broke down, so now there's still talk that it may go away anyhow. But so who knows? It don't matter if it goes away. I'll just join the new Instagram version of it called Reels. So someone,
There you go.
there's Reels. There's another one called.
And you said it, man. You said it. Why don't one of these companies just rip them off?
Yeah, and that's what they've been doing. The crazy.
Hey,
Go ahead.
no, keep going. I was
Well-
going to change subjects. That's bad on me.
No, that's fine. Yes, people are going to rip it off, but where it's going to be completely different is, as we said before, it's China. They don't care about people's copyright laws. And even though they minimize the songs to 30 seconds to a minute, those minute songs of copyrighted materials they'll get their wrists smacked on Instagram and all the American versions real quick. And so that whole aspect of it will probably either go away, or if the music companies were smart, they would realize that this is free publicity. Let them use the 1 minute. And to that point, there's a new Dunkin' Donuts commercial, which you're not on TikTok, but the song they chose to use is one that is regularly used in TikTok videos. And so even if some of them are a minute long and you're going over that quote-unquote copyright length of 30 seconds, on the American version, these companies will have a fit. But if they're smart, they would just let it go, because those songs are, that's how kids learn about them. And they blow up.
Note to self: work on timing.
Well, it's
So
gotten
when
better.
we
I mean,
were-
there is a delay between here and Vegas.
So when we were kids and we'd
Mhm.
go on vacations or we'd hang out at Big Bone Lick State Park. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that correctly. Big Bone Lick State Park, which is located next to the village of Beaver Lick. But I digress.
And if you were a reader of Maxim Magazine or Stuff Magazine in the early 2000s, they would have these mailing contests of funny road signs, and the Big Bone Lick sign would quite often get submitted for approval.
Anyway, when we were kids, we'd look at these little miniature license plates or
Like
things
the
with
ones
our
we
name-
put on our bike.
things with names on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess whose name was never found?
Yours.
Guess what?
Oh, you got
A
yourself
pocket knife with my name on it. Yes, it's a cheesy Vegas one, and somehow ended up with two. Actually, one from Florida and one from here. So evidently, so far, I found a shot glass in this. Evidently, the name Gordon is receiving some kind of renaissance.
Yeah, the old school names are coming back, but yet a simple name like Don can't be found on a Coke can or on a license plate or anywhere.
That's because it's Donald.
Well, even Donald can't be
Oh,
found. It's not.
my
It's
name
not
is
cool and hip. So I watched the first 2 episodes of your show you suggested to me, which is the Umbrella Society
Academy.
or whatever the fuck it's called. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to suggest. It's like when I realized it was the lead singer Gerald Way of Chemical Romance, I thought that was
Now, did he write it or is he directing it?
he wrote the graphic novel. He's the
Oh,
creator of
okay.
the graphic novel it's based off of. Now, that being
gotcha.
said, I don't recall the soundtrack for the first season, but the second season, holy cow.
Episode 2, the very beginning, they had Istanbul is Constantinople from They Might Be
So-
Giants in it. And then they had a
That's-
couple of kind of classical remakes of modern videos that were in there as well.
And they seem to run the songs a little longer than a normal show would.
Yeah.
You're going to find some good ones in the second season. That one, if anybody has watched the Umbrella Academy or hasn't, this one actually gets better with season 2. So yeah, it's another one. It's another. I'm not into the superhero genre either, but I find myself attracted to these offbeat ones,
Yeah.
and kind of like the anti-superhero movie.
Well, Carrie came in last night. She's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Umbrella Academy," and she's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "What's a superhero show? You won't like it," because she got in like 2 episodes of The Boys and all that stuff. So it's not up her alley. She did like Deadpool, but I mean, everybody likes Deadpool.
Everybody likes Deadpool. Now the comedy is what really goes up in the second season.
Yeah.
It's effing hilarious, absolutely. But God, Yeah, I'm a little all over the map today. I'm sorry. Hopefully, I'm not boogering it up too bad. But I did have I think something else here.
So I had to do it while you're thinking about
Oh,
that. I had to do an Amazon return again the other day, and I was at the as previously stated Kohl's, because Amazon lets you do returns at Kohl's. It saves them money.
Yes.
They lease out space. Kohl's looks at it as a opportunity to get you to buy their wares, because one, as we said before, you don't just walk in and go to customer service. They put the Amazon return all the way in the back left hand corner of the store, so you got to walk through all their aisles and see all their products and stuff. And then when you get back there, they give you what you think is a 25% off coupon. And so
Coupons.
as you return your item, you're walking around and you start shopping, and you go up there and you use your 25% coupon, and they say, sorry, this item isn't eligible. There's a big ass paragraph. Basically, Nike, Adidas, Levi, anything in that store that's name brand is not eligible. Only thing that's eligible,
yes.
only thing that's like eligible is towels and like forks and shit that's like generic.
Or the Sonoma brand.
Yeah, and so and that also gives a thing, because you're too embarrassed just to walk away. I ended up with a fucking pair of Levi's pants one time like that. But anyhow, I was walking through, and
You don't want to be that cheap asshole at the register, huh?
it was like the day after Carrie's birthday, and I saw a pair of Vans, and I grabbed them, which I knew. I already shot a video making fun of this as I walked through Kohl's, so I knew I didn't even bother with the 25% coupon.
Coupon.
But the shoe depot is like 55 yards, 40 yards from the cashier. And
Okay.
she's diligently wiping down the countertops, got her booger shield that's too short. I look right over it. But she's doing her part to keep it clean, because that's the new Kohl decree, even
Right.
though they say you can't transmit through. But anyway, I digress. And so I go over. The dick me, I first said, well, environmentalism goes out the window when there's a worldwide pandemic, because they're using paper towels. So after every single person, they're probably going through, each sales clerk's probably going through 2 rolls of paper towels a day. But so I put the shoebox down. I make no contact with the countertop, right? I picked up the shoebox, carried it 40 yards, put it down. I personally made no contact. She slid it over, rang it up, put it in the bag, gave it to me. I put in my PIN code, bing, take the bag, walk away, turn around. She's wiping down the countertop again. Now I know, you touched the box, okay, fine. That's not my point. You know what she didn't wipe down?
Get the pen pad.
The pen pad that everybody takes their booger pickers and rubs all over it all day long. But we're going to go through 16, 17 rolls of paper towels to wipe down that surface that maybe you made contact with, but the one item that everybody makes contact with their dirty ass
Oh,
fingers.
she's protecting herself.
No, it's their policy. Every one of them's doing it. It's the policy, and
Yeah.
it's and I didn't mean to laugh at the Burger King guy, but it's the same thing. I go through Burger King, right? Hand him my debit card. He grabs it by hand, swipes it, hands it back to me. I'm in my Tundra. Takes my food, sets it in a tray, hands the tray to me to get my food, which I could take my arm and reach in his window. So he has no problem taking my card that's in my dirty ass wallet, sitting in my dirty ass pants all day. But when it comes to him giving me the food, they're required to put it in a tray and then hand the tray to me. It's like, which one is it? Shouldn't I be putting the debit card in a tray too? Or like McDonald's and the other ones, they have the debit card reader on a stick and they stick it out the window.
They stick it out at you. Here you go, and then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
So then they
the
gotta
damn
take it
chip
and-
doesn't work. So then he pulls that and your card in, and he does it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, done that move.
It's just, I get it, but can we all at least pretend like we have some universal decree of cleanliness on this thing and not just ad hoc make it up as we go? It's so silly.
Well, so I was watching a interview with some bar owners who were protesting the fact that they're shut down here in Clark County, but the casinos can be open and other businesses. Why are you picking on us? And I am with them, 100%. But they said we do everything safe, this and that, and talk about their safety measures. But there's one problem.
You don't have a casino lobby?
Fucking nose was hanging out above her mask.
Yeah.
So she was undoing all the positives. She said that they were, hey, just open the bars. And then when there's a problem with bar, focus on that one, which I get. Absolutely. But you're saying, we've done all this, but yet you can't even.
I don't have a problem with that. Because the nose thing, you're playing by the government's rules. Because after all, remember, the only job of the mask is to prevent spittle. COVID is transmitted through mist through the spittle. So unless you're sneezing out your nose as you're talking, the mouth is covered. That is the weapon of choice on COVID. At least that's what they tell us. The mask isn't to protect you; it's to protect people from your spit. So
Well,
if she has
actually-
it over her mouth, she's following their policy.
There's still a ton of moisture that comes out of that nose, though. Seen it.
Down.
Seen the.
Unless
yeah.
she's talking like this.
Well, if you got it down because you're taller than everybody else, they're right in your fucking blast zone.
Hey man, it's a short man's world. We're just living it, so we got to win somewhere sometime.
You gonna pull that card, huh?
Yep.
Motherfuckers. See, that's one thing I've noticed about out here and in newer homes, and even businesses. A lot of things are 6 foot or 7 foot high and higher for shields. Even in shower heads are way up there, and that's very nice to see. Anytime I go back to Kentucky, I feel like I've got to get on my knees to go anywhere.
Well, plexiglass is expensive, and the taller they make it, the more material they have to use on the feet. So they just make, and then it would stick out on the damn countertop. So they have to make it short so that it has enough width. But yeah,
Unless they grab a chain and hang it from the T-grid above.
and that's the smart move. But most of the places, the gas stations do that. Those are the ones I
they
see do that. Gas stations, and then the plexiglass in the drive-through window. But like the the Staples, the coffee shops, and all that crap.
I need you to build me
All
this
right.
for as cheap as possible.
You hand them
Yeah,
money
you look
over.
like fucking, what is that, Milo? Milo was here?
Yeah. No, it's a Kilroy.
Kilroy was here. Wow. What am I thinking? Oh, Milo, the Descendants. That's what I'm thinking.
Nope, you're thinking of Kilroy. I watched Midway the other day. That's a good movie.
How was it? Good?
Yeah.
Educational? Historically correct?
One of the things I try not to do, just like you would, my buddy Zach, the retired EOD guy, he can't handle TV shows because the blue, red, white, that shit don't exist. And so, as a reenactor, I try to ignore all the. But it's interesting that they call it Midway, and they call it Midway because the crescendo of the apex of the movie is the Battle of Midway. But they did what Pearl Harbor tried to do, minus the shitty romance.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, Pearl Harbor covered Pearl Harbor. Then they covered, just blanked on that, the Doolittle raids.
Okay.
This movie starts 7 years. This movie starts in 1939 when the envoy has a meeting with Japan when they're trying to do the peace conference. People tend to forget that they did Pearl Harbor in the middle of a peace treaty. And once again, the reason Pearl Harbor happened was they were teaming up with the Axis of Evil. They invaded China, Burma, and all that stuff. 80% of their oil came from the United States. So we basically put a kibosh on their oil, and we're starting to freeze any American funds, assets they had in American banks. And so we, under their impression, we push them into it. But it actually starts before we were involved in the war. And then they show Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, though, because it's already a 2-hour-long movie. But they show them attacking Pearl Harbor. They show the Arizona sinking and all that stuff. And then they actually go into the Midway stuff, but they show the Battle of Coral Sea real quick. They make reference to it. They make reference to the Doolittle raids. And then they actually talk about when it came time, we were starting to pick up on their encrypted codes on where they're going to attack Midway or another place. How we tricked them into giving up the secret is we had Midway put out an unencrypted message saying that the water filtration system was down. There was no fresh water on the island. And then we intercepted an encrypted Japanese code talking about the target has no water. So there, we knew where their target was, and so we sent all our assets up there. But they, like I said, it covered before the war, Pearl Harbor, Battle of Coral Sea, the Doolittle raids, and Midway. And so it covered a great part of the early stages of the war, which Pearl Harbor tried to do, but they got too tied up in the romance side of that storyline. So it was really, really good. You learned about some people that you didn't hear about, prior to this. Woody Harrelson was in it, which that was a good pick because one, he looked like Admiral Nimitz, which Admiral Nimitz is from Fredericksburg, Texas, which is why that's where the National Museum of the Pacific War is at, and Woody Harrelson's from Texas, and so that worked real well. I barely recognized. I was going to say Randy Quaid, Dennis Quaid. He looked so different in that. But they had a lot of people, and it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I did have to chop it in two and watch it over 2 days because it was just super long with Nugget and all that, because Nugget sat through and watched it with me. But yeah, that
That's
was
good that you're able to get her to do that.
yeah, well, you know, and I often say, well, it should be required watching for people to watch Schindler's List or Band of Brothers, and so I try to make her watch all that stuff so she can get a little bit of history through an entertainment way.
So we were talking about music a minute ago, and that's what I wanted to segue into because I was thinking about it today. We have a local alternative station out here, and something I even mentioned it to Katina. It's like I'm really having a hard time differentiating modern alternative music from modern pop music. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. I don't listen to really either one of them.
I don't either. I mean, I just hear the pop in the background all the time everywhere I go. And it seems like it's kind of the gap is closed. And what that leads me to is remember when we were growing up, we were in high school, it was CD 1011, the one and only 11, remember?
Yeah, but they had a
Remember-
format change. Now it's CD 102.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When did that happen?
I don't know. Last time I
It
was in
just
Ohio.
sounds wrong. Well, it changed the whole name of the station.
And did they lose their license on CD? I don't think there's a radio I mean, if you're still in Columbus and Grove City and you're on Facebook, what's on CD 101.1? Why is it CD 102 now? Did they lose their license? They forget to renew? Is there an
I'm sure we can find it on the web, but let's try to get a little listener.
It's just a little
involvement on
weird.
this. It is.
But to your
completely
point, I
weird.
think a lot of it sounds so similar because so much of it's done on computer now.
Yeah. A little. There's always a little something done with the vocals from an auto-tune standpoint. It seems like.
And
Thank God it's not as bad as it was 5-10 years ago. But
I think
There.
there's a lot of crossover from producers.
yeah, I can
And
see
looking
that.
back at it, we're older folk. Let's go back and look at the day. Beastie Boys, Run DMC, LL Cool J. They all sounded the same. Why is that? They had the same college kid producing all their music, Rick Rubin.
This is very good. Yes, indeed, and it was also the beginning of it all too. So he was trying to create something completely new.
Mm-hmm.
To a certain extent. I mean, obviously everything comes from the production work that was done on the Beatles. You
Yep.
could say that pretty much a grandfather to the craziness that's gone on out there.
I had a memory, speaking of when we were kids.
Oh boy, what I do now?
Do you remember Swan Ice Cream Delivery Service?
Yes, I've actually seen them out here a few times.
Our neighbors used to get that,
Okay.
and I never understood why someone needed a 3-gallon bucket of ice cream.
Good point.
In order to get it delivered to your house, you had to buy it in bulk. And so it wasn't like you're getting a quart. You're like ordering like a 3-gallon bucket. And so I got to wondering, do they still do that ice cream delivery service? And the answer
Okay.
is yes, believe it or not.
And is it reasonably priced?
Schwan,
Man.
that's SCHWANS, home delivery, save up to $10 on your purchase of $50. And so obviously with gas prices and all that, here, start shopping, save $10 off. But they've actually expanded now that it's not just ice cream. They're getting into regular food as well. Here's some Asian-inspired meals. And so they went from just being ice cream to all kind. Oh, you can get some classic corn dogs. So they've expanded their menu from just ice cream to other food items. But it was just always weird to me that people would need that much ice cream delivered to their house. But apparently, it's a model that worked for them for all those years.
Yeah, and it must be. Speaking of food, so we got this new guy that at work, and he's from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
And he asked me because I mentioned about getting some Chinese food first time in a while because my wife's got some weird allergies. And he goes, "Where do you get good ice cream, good Chinese food around here? I can't find a good place." I'm like,
Really? You're in Vegas.
"You're in Vegas, dude. It is more authentic here than anywhere else."
I was gonna say I'll scream that all day long here in Fort Myers. Every single freaking quote unquote Chinese food restaurant serves every one of them has the same menu and it's all the same crap.
Let me guess: General Tso's chicken,
General Tso's
cashew chicken,
Yep.
beef broccoli,
Yep.
the famous sweet and sour chicken.
Yep.
Yep.
You can't even get orange chicken out here.
And you notice the sweet and sour all has that same color,
Mm-hmm.
except for like a real place.
Like Gatorade pink.
Exactly.
And it's so
that sounds
gross.
good.
Like, and their fried rice barely has any like vegetables in it now. Like
Or
very,
meat.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, we got some, and that's what I said, dude. It's just more authentic out here. You know,
I'm
Don't
starting to
get-
lose
don't-
faith in the old every plate.
Really? Is that who you go on through? Is every plate?
We've been doing it consistently, nonstop since we talked about it and started doing COVID. Last
Okay.
week, we had two different meals that required what they call Southwest seasoning. I'm sure it's just cumin and some other seasonings and all that stuff, but they usually come in a pre-packaged thing, and it's hard to make it and have enough to know what the mixture, to the food is supposed to be to get the right flavor. And so one of the items we just said fuck it, threw taco seasoning in there, but we suffered through it and like okay fine. This week we had a menu dinner that required 4 because we always do menus for 4 people because there's 3 of us. You can't just do 3. It's either 2 or 4 or
And
6.
somebody gets the leftovers.
I just eat twice. And so
My answer.
well, I mean, the kid doesn't need 2 chicken breasts. Carrie's not going to eat 2 chicken breasts. I'll eat. We had a chicken breast menu item. They sent us 2 pack of 2 boneless chicken breasts and a pack of shredded chicken.
Okay.
But it was a
Oh, sure.
dinner of boneless chicken breasts. So that's 2 weeks in a row our menu items were screwed up, and then this week our damn
Dan, we're out of chicken breast. I just fucking throw some thighs in there and get it out of here.
our zucchini was so horrible we didn't even make it. It was like the first time
Really?
we've deviated. We have a strict policy because we want to expand on our horizons. There's no reason to order gourmet food service if you're going to deviate from the menu. So our standing policy is never deviate from the menu. Even if it's something we don't think we like, we make it exactly as the menu calls for. And I'll be goddamn, there hasn't been an item that we haven't said we would order again. Even if it's like, why would I put chopped up kiwi and rice with my chicken? It fucking works. They know that, a flavor that may be odd by itself complements other things. And yeah, right. And we're learning about flavor palettes and how different flavors accentuate other flavors. But it's like now we're getting to a point where we're going to the store and buying seasonings because they forget to put it in there, and now we're not even cooking the zucchini because it looks like shit.
Have you all sent them an Instagram?
Well, they really. I tweeted them and they didn't reply to it. There's really no place on it. I just told her to pause it for a few weeks. Wait for her to get that.
Yeah, and that's probably a good deal.
And you'll get that please come back email. Just wait for that.
Why'd you leave us? Please come back.
But it's
Please.
and it's so funny because we've been doing that. We get a box every Thursday, and when we first started doing, we were doing 3 nights, but now we just order enough that we basically have it every night. So we don't eat out fast food anymore.
Okay.
And every once in a while, we'll get to hankering, and we'll go out and eat fast food, and then we're quickly reminded why we don't eat fast food anymore. But we may have to look into a different service provider because the whole thing of this is you have one job: put produce and menu items on a box and ship it to me.
Well, I need to start strapping on a GoPro because I like to cook.
Mm-hmm.
I've made a couple. They just never work out. Katina doesn't want to be in them, so sometimes it's hard to avoid it. But I need to get creative with camera angles, I guess. However, because she's my prep cook, she does the cheese shredding. We don't use any packaged cheese. Haven't for 10 years. We shred whatever cheese we want on a block. That being said, last night we made some nice lamb chops. Ones that look like miniature T-bone steaks.
Mm-hmm.
Get them from Sam's for a pretty good price. Had some left over. Said, we're going to do something with these for lunch. I'm looking at them. I said, well, you made a horrible purchase by buying those King's Hawaiian rolls. So let's make lamb sliders.
Hold up, wait up. So how is King's Hawaiian Roll ever a bad decision?
I was trying to stay away from the carbs.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I got
sure.
it. Well, that's fine.
Oh, no, they're absolutely delicious.
The
And I
way
tell
you
what,
said it, it seemed like you're calling out the fine people at King's Hawaiian Roll. That's my concern.
Never, ever, ever would do that. I guess to do it right, I must need to put Spam on it, but I digress. So we put the lamb on, melted some Gouda cheese. Of course, I'm not a huge real lamb fan, so I put a little A1 on it. And they're freaking delicious.
A1, number 1 steak sauce for people who don't like steak.
Now, I will use A1 on what I deem a shitty steak.
Exactly. Once again, A1 steak
would
sauce.
be a Waffle House steak. Would definitely deem A1.
And you say, wait, hold on, Don, that's a little harsh. A1 was invented for that purpose. A1 was created during the Civil War when they're eating horse and rotten meat. So yes, A1 steak sauce, the number one steak sauce for people who don't like steak, or as Gordon pointed out, you're eating subpar steak. If anytime I go to a restaurant and a waitress, do you want A1 sauce? I'm like, you better hope not. Hey, Bailey Boo, you come in.
What do you think of people who put ranch dressing on a steak?
I never seen people put ranch dressing on a steak. That's just fucking gross.
You've never worked in a restaurant in Florence, Kentucky, because I swear to God, ranch, when I was there, was a fifth food group.
Carrie, can you help?
You got Bailey Boo, action dog.
No, I got a dead lizard in here.
Aw,
And I got a Bailey Boo. Thank you.
there you go.
But the well,
No lizard shall survive the studio.
while we're on topic of food, I've been complaining a lot about beef jerky.
Yeah, it's horribly expensive and a lot of it sucks.
Well, I did a video a while back talking about in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was tasked by my ex-wife to constantly go out and buy Roberto's brand beef jerky. It's like $8 a bag back then.
Okay.
I want to eat this beef jerky, but I just had a dead lizard in my hand, so now I got decisions to make. And so
Man.
the stuff was super soft and fluffy, right? And it had cracked pepper. It wasn't the teriyaki crap and the barbecue. It had its own flavor. It had like a black pepper on it and this and that and the other thing.
Okay.
And now Roberto's, when you get it, it's like tearing off a piece of an old shoe. It's super dehydrated. It's flat. It's cut. And as you and I have talked about, usually what happens is when these designer companies get big, they sell out. Kind of like Crave Jerky got bought out by Nestle or somebody, and they went from being a boutique quality beef jerky now to being shoe leather, and the quality's gone away because it went from being cooked in a small kitchen to being broad scaled.
It's the risk of economy of scale.
Yeah. So I been on this hunt because, like you said, you're trying to watch your weight and cut down on the carbs, and the best way to do that is through proteins and all that. And so I've been eating beef jerky, and I came across this stuff called Cattleman's Cut Texas-style flank steak. Dead lizard hands be damned. I'm not going to eat it because that'd be rude to chew on a microphone, but I want to show you this stuff. I start chewing on this stuff, and it's big, chunky, nice, fluffy taste of meat.
Like meat nuggets.
I was like, oh, I think I may have found me a quality substitute to the Roberto Brands beef jerky. So I get to pondering, looking at this bag. I want to see where this stuff's from.
Right. You want to see who the owning company is and where it's from.
It's out of Kent, Washington. Go to cattleman'scut.com. Well, here's the name of the company. 2018 Roberto Sausage Company.
There you go.
For some
So
reason,
that is their higher line, their premium line of beef jerky.
yeah, so their $7 a bag stuff is like eating an old Adidas tennis shoe. And if you want the stuff you used to buy in the late 90s, early 2000s, sadly it's got a barbecue-esque flavor to it. It's not the same exact flavor, but the quality of steak is in their $12 bag. So if you're like me and you've been searching for what happened to Roberto, I was getting ready to get online, see who bought them out.
Right, and unfortunately their regular line has become not to belittle or berate the shoe pun is basically Payless shoes.
Yeah, it's kind of like how if you're a Volkswagen fan and you want quality, you got to buy an Audi. They save the quality for the Audi brand, even though it's the same company.
And Porsche.
Yeah.
Don't forget Porsche. Same group.
So yeah, I was surprised to see that was my long lost. If I would just wish they'd make the cracked pepper version of it again, and so then I would be.
So does it
super
taste
happy.
almost identical to the old Roberto?
No, because Roberto's it was just more of a natural with a dry rub and like cracked pepper and all that. This has clearly been soaked in barbecue sauce. It's not teriyaki, but it's Texas style, so it's even got a kind of a red tint to it, but it's still good.
Go. Fantastic.
What's up with tomato haters?
Tomato haters?
Yeah, I don't get tomato haters.
I don't like tomato haters.
I don't like tomato.
How can you hate tomatoes?
How can Italians hate tomatoes?
Well, they're probably not Italian
No.
anymore.
I was at that birthday party last week, and Carrie's whole family on Rusty's side, they're all pasta eaters. They're all diehard.
Spaghetti benders?
It's to the point where there are these Italians. We all know these. You want some manicotti? Some marinara?
Hey, you want some manicotti?
Yeah, they can't say the full word of the Italian food. They got to shorten it. Want some calamari? Those people. You know,
I want some chick parm, man.
they're the Italians who eat the seafood on Christmas Eve because that's what Italians do.
You think that's like maybe somebody owned a bunch of Italian restaurants in the family and they just use the shorthand lingo?
Well, Rusty was a chef for a while, but anyhow, I was at Carrie's birthday party last week, and one of her family members, much like your wife, had some dietary restrictions, and she's going full-blown keto, and so she was eating cheese, and everybody bought her vegetable platters with the celery, and much to her dismay, the little tiny tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes.
Yummy.
Out of a house of like 14 people, I was the only one in there who liked tomatoes. Which is great, more cherry tomatoes for me, but you have 5 people in here claiming to be Italians, you love the sauce, and you don't like tomatoes. It's like, how do none of these people like tomatoes? What is with that?
How do you eat marinara sauce?
It's the same, well, you like you don't even go down the whole ketchup road with them because they don't
Well,
mind at all.
and to be fair, I love Reese's peanut butter, but I hate Snickers.
That's not even remotely close, but okay.
Well, it's the peanuts in it with the chocolate. I can't do peanuts and chocolate, but I can do peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah, but that's who are the people who like corn nuts?
That's a good question. I don't know if I trust those people.
I broke a tooth. Well, of course you did. You know what the mascot for corn nuts is?
A broken tooth?
It's a cartoon version of an angry cob of corn missing a fucking tooth. And then you're surprised that you cracked the tooth.
Your release and
corn
liability is in the logo.
Corn nuts hurt. The mascot's missing a tooth. Of course you're eating freaking raw corn. Who eats corn nuts?
Any listeners who eat corn nuts, please call in at.
I'm sorry, I'm reading Jeff Toppus. It says tomato haters are just as mad as it's fruit. If you're a tomato hater or you like corn nuts or you just want to tell us we suck, give us a call at 239-297-1714. That is 239-232-4419. That's 239-232-4419. But hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Ranches the pizza instead of marinara was what the fuck is when I heard. Lizard season jerky. Ugh.
Where was that?
I like Blue Apron, but it seems costly compared to buying stuff myself. Yes, Jeff. The online storage, the online food services, there's a fine line. If you're buying for 1 or 2 people, it's definitely more expensive. If you're buying 3 to 4, it's cheaper. For example, I think it comes down to like $30-40-ish a dinner. But put that in perspective. If me, Carrie, Nugget go down to Tropical Smoothie, get 3 smoothies and 3 quesadillas, it's $35. So give me the extra $5 and give me quality food. So,
are you still able to get your good German-made gyros?
yes, he had to move. Sad story. If you guys are looking for the Euro Chicken Grill that used to be located in front of the old mechanic shop on Cape Coral Parkway, the guy who owned the mechanic shop was a tow truck driver.
Mm-hmm.
And he went out and was doing a tow job, and there was equipment failure, and the car fell off and killed him.
Oh, damn.
And his out-of-state daughter quickly sold the property. And so the owner of the Chicken Euro Grill, who had been leasing parking lot space there for like 5 years, had to move down further up Cape Coral Parkway on the left. So he is down there on the left. But yeah, give us a call at 239-232-4419. It's so freaking hot outside. I had to mow the grass today and about died.
I tell you what, we went from, I keep talking about a really wet spring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've gone from a really wet spring to an extremely dry summer. The thing you don't want. So now, if you look at the grass, it's going to catch on fire.
Yeah.
It's bad. Our monsoon season has nearly a month soon to be seen. I don't think it's making it up out of Arizona.
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy.
And what's interesting is this is the first time I've seen it in my hot tub. I opened up my hot tub today just to check out. It's more of a spa, and obviously the heat's not on out here.
Find a lizard in there?
Did not find a lizard, but I saw it said OHH on my display. Oh, I'm like, what the fuck is this error code? Had to look it up. That is overheat warning. It actually got above, I think, 105 degrees. So now the water's dangerous.
Warning, you may
Just from
boil alive.
You may boil alive because it's only been 115 degrees out here lately.
Mm-hmm. You know, one of the things that our kids, I don't even think they've ever heard the phrase that we used to get beat over the head with when we were kids.
Sticks and stones may break my bones.
Well, that was one of them, but it's more,
Okay.
I think it's just as important, if not more important in life. Good things come
to those
who wait. I can't tell you how many times. Perfect example. I work right now. It's summertime. Kids are home. Carrie's home. They're both. Carrie's a teacher. And Nugget's in school.
Easy. Yep.
And Nugget's been staying up till like 5 in the morning and sleeping until 1, which is fine. We better get that crap done real quick, though. School's starting up here in a couple weeks. But I called home the other day because I've been trying to come home to eat lunch to save money. But we were low on groceries. We have plenty of dinner because we get it in the mail, but we were low on lunch products. And so I called Carrie and I said, hey, what do you want for lunch? And she told me, and I said, okay, I just got to make another stop. Well, Nugget decided she couldn't wait that extra 30 minutes. She needed food now. And so she went in there and found stuff in the cupboards to make, and then was distraught when I came home with fast food. Chick-fil-A or what have you.
She wanted to get hangry.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A or what have you. And that's when I had this whole good things come to those who wait. You ate something you really didn't want because you couldn't wait the extra 20 minutes for me to get home. And that's kind of progressed into other things. I mean, we all see it now. When we have to order something through the mail that doesn't come via Amazon.
Instant gratification, man.
Update. The Raycon earbuds that I ordered for Carrie.
Yeah.
Finally came 2 days after her birthday. Ordered them on July 20th. They have free shipping. And I ordered them on July 20th because her birthday is August 3rd, and I knew from when she ordered mine, it took about a week to get there. So I want to have plenty of time. Ordered them on July 20th. According to tracking, on July 24th, they were sitting in Orlando, which is a short 5-hour drive, as we talked about last week, or 4 hours, depending on how fast you drive. August 3rd, I file a claim saying, hey, I think someone stole my package in Orlando. The day I filed the claim August 3rd, on August 4th, they show up. Here's what I found. UPS has a service called UPS Assured Nonsense, whatever. What they do is these companies like Raycon or whatever, they pay a lower UPS shipping rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And UPS loads all that. They'll pick it up, take it to their hub, and they throw it in a semi-truck with a bunch of other people using the service. Then they take the semi-trailer over to the fine people of the United States Postal Service and drop it off in their parking lot, wipe their hands of it.
I've never seen UPS do that. I've seen FedEx, but interesting.
What the guy at the UPS store explained to me, where I have my P.O. box, is that trailer was dropped off in Orlando on July 24th, and it took from July 24th to probably August 2nd for that truck to get unloaded to get my package to my house. But once again, good things come to those who wait, but I'm so used to getting things within 24 to 48 hours from Amazon that when something took 2.5 weeks, I'm like filing claims and getting irritated.
You didn't have your instant gratification. You're wondering what's going on. Obviously, porch pirates are everywhere. But what's interesting is the United States Postal Service bitches that they've lost a lot of money during COVID because nobody's shipping through them. Well, when you got shit like that going on, why would you?
Mm-hmm. I have things that I've forgotten. I ordered a custom, one of my reenacting buddies who's making air correct gray sweatshirts with the red Marine Corps logo on them that the guys wore for PT.
Mhm.
And every year we have that event up in Alabama in November, and it gets pretty damn cold. And so last year I ordered one right around Christmas time, and I forgot all about it. And then he started posting a second printing, and then I had this flashback, and I went and checked my PayPal, saw that I paid for it. Never got the damn thing. And he sent me, I emailed him and said, well, I emailed you in January. You must have forgot a screenshot. The thing was allegedly delivered, never came to my house, and one of my neighbors got it.
Great.
And then we've had other issues with things not showing up in the mail.
And most of that, yeah, and that's what brings me to this whole, well, we need to do mail-in, you can't say that mail-in ballots are going to be frauded or things are going to happen. We can't even get the regular effing mail. They can't get that shit straight. No, I don't trust it.
And it's so funny because they're like, Trump's a hypocrite. Well, that's true. I'll agree with you on that. I mean, we've said on this podcast before, neither one of us are quote-unquote Trump fans, but when he does something good, we'll acknowledge it. When he does something stupid, we'll acknowledge that too. But there's on one word, his campaign's against mail-in ballots, but the next day he's talking about how the absentee ballots for Florida is working such stellar, which they're just mailing in ballots. And his people are like, well, there's two different things. Well, yeah, I know, but why is he suing Nevada, but he's prompting up Florida? Well, one, Nevada's rushing this thing out in the middle of the night,
Yes.
whereas Florida's had it in place for 4 or 5 years. But the key difference is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you live in Nevada, Nevada's just going to mail out ballots to everybody.
Yeah, and that's the worry is.
Throw them in the mailbox, and they get delivered just like the junk mail. In Florida, you, as a registered voter, have to mail in a form saying, I want to do absentee ballot, provide your address, your voter registration card, and some other forms of verification. They send that voter registration form to your house with your voter registration ID already on it and with your name and information already on it. So it's not just a blanket mail it out and, people can run down, fill it out as many times they want. They send one pre-filled out to that house. And so it's not just a blank mail-in ballot, large blanket form. It's a whole process that's been in place for years.
Exactly. It's like, hey, well, I've got ballots for evidently previous residents.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of shit like that's going to happen?
Well, Carrie just found out that she has to go register because they've been sending stuff to an address we lived at 2 houses ago and never got a reply. So now we got to go get her re-registered to vote.
Yeah. No, that's something to take care of right away. So if you do plan on mail-in ballot voting, whatever, and you haven't changed your address with the registration, voter's registration, do it.
2 more things before we get to the news. One, I just noticed something. I don't know if you noticed this too. I think Facebook is trying to protect the feelings of their live streamers. Did you notice something's missing from our video tonight? The ability to see how many people are watching.
Oh, I see it. There's 4.
Really? Because on mine, I've looked at 2 different places. I couldn't see it.
It's same spot it always has. Right next to the live symbol, there's 4 eyeballs.
Yeah, because on mine it's not there. Because I was wondering if maybe they took it down. And you're like, wow, they only got 4. I've seen big name. I've gone through Adam Carolla's before where he's an hour and a half and there's 30 people watching it because a lot of people watch it later on. So I didn't know if maybe they took the number down because they're afraid that people might not tune in because they only see a low number.
Or 5.
Yeah, I've looked at it. And I forget where my second one was going to be. Oh, well, I don't know. It had something to do with what you were just saying. But I digress. I'll think about it. You ready for the news?
Let's get this news going.
News and shit. News and shit. Now here's Gordon with some news and shit.
Joining us now from the Digital 410 West News Desk in Las Vegas, Nevada, Gordon Abernathy.
Gordon, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing good, Guy. How are you doing?
Guy. Come on, guy.
Hey, Guy. How you doing, Guy?
Yeah.
Well, crap. I was going to change my background, but I guess we're not. We don't talk about that story. There was an arrest. I guess we'll talk about that story. We know who Jake Paul is, right?
I heard that his brother got arrested too today, or yesterday.
I did not hear that. Maybe I'm.
Do the Jake Paul, and I'll look up the other story.
Well, Jake Paul got arrested. He's a YouTuber with about 20 million subscribers, And he got arrested because there's some video evidence of him being in a mall when he's not supposed to be in Scottsdale, Arizona, when the protests and rioting was happening.
Sorry, when you said Jake Paul, I thought that was his. You're right. That's the main guy. That's who I was talking about. But go ahead.
Yep, that's Logan Paul's brother.
Yep.
Anyway, so and in the story, I noticed that there was a guy named Armani Azadi, whose house, known as the Graffiti Mansion here in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Half-ass news. It also got raided. Well, I drove by this morning, and it is currently pink. Very, very pink. It actually says, "I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world," along the top of it.
2003 called. They want their song title back.
Exactly. So, yeah, he was arrested, and this guy's got kind of an interesting past.
Well, you and I were talking about this before about his house and how the homeowners association has been fining him. And
I'm still not convinced it's their full homeowners association there. I think it may be a loose one.
Or a lot of this is done for his YouTube publicity, and so
it absolutely is.
Maybe that's built into his cost of doing business, that he just takes some of the revenue he generates from YouTube, just pays their fines every month.
Well, just imagine the effort that it takes, and he is a graffiti artist, and he has a guy there also, and it looked like they're getting ready to redo something to the house because the ladder was up, and he has a garage that you can see from the street that has just crates and crates of spray cans. But just imagine repainting a 6,500 square foot house all the time.
He probably goes and gets drunks to do it, pays them a beer. I doubt he's out there doing it himself, especially the paint stuff.
Some of them it is, because it's not if you see how well it's actually done and the artistry behind it, that gets pretty impressive. Now the pink house, not so much, but I've seen some others. Anyway, he was his house was also swatted by the FBI, and there's really no word yet on what's coming out of it. But
I just saw they took firearms out of there.
I think it was out of the at Jake Paul's house. I know they took some firearms, but Azadi's also had some troubles of his own, and there may be some. He said he was kind of set up, which that cop who allegedly set him up, actually him and his wife went down for setting other people up, but he was busted for pandering and pimping back in 2013.
Pimping ain't easy.
So it's interesting. I actually have watched a few of the videos, and it reminds me a lot of just like MTV in the 90s.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%, with all the girls there and everything else. But
so apparently he thought he'd be safe by going to Arizona and participating in riots.
It's interesting. He did say that he backs his boy Jake Paul, that if Jake gets arrested, he needs to get arrested too. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, you're into old cars, or at least watching shows with old cars and collectibles and heritage stuff, right?
Yep.
Well, in Minnesota, a man sells his 1957 Chevy truck.
Step side?
Don't know quite sure, but that's not what it's all about. How much did he sell it for? Hold on. And the number wouldn't be what you think.
I had to cough. 1957.
Chevy truck.
We're assuming a step side Chevy. Original, or is it one of these resto mods with a new motor?
It's pretty much a regular rusty old truck.
Sorry, I'm fucking dying over here.
All right.
So if it's not a resto mod, if it doesn't have like an LS7 in it, I want to say, a lot of people like barn finds. I want to say 25 grand.
So this Minnesota sold his 1957 Chevy pickup truck he drove for 44 years for $75. The same price he paid decades ago. Bob Sportle of Princeburg handed over the keys last month to the grandson of the man he bought the truck from way back when. He was in his early 20s when he bought that rusty pickup truck from a retiring farmer. He drove that truck to work every day as a local grain elevator until he retired 5 years ago. So he buys the truck. Talk about investment and getting your return on investment. He buys this truck for $75 44 years ago. I'm sure he's put some money into it. but he was able to drive that thing for 44 years to his job.
Yeah, it's your basic farm truck that it has the step in between the cab and the rear wheel well, but it doesn't. It's not technically a step side Chevy. But I mean, that's a steal. I would be happier than the puppy with two Peters to pay $75 for that, even if it wasn't running. You know, it kind of looks like Maynard without the tow hitch on it.
Yes.
But no, I mean that truck all day long. They'd basically do an off the frame restoration where you keep the rust and all that, fill in the hole underneath the front light, put an a LS7 motor in it, put it on airbags all day long, and turn around. That's a badass truck.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, so he sold it back to the grandson of the guy he bought it from.
Mm-hmm.
Grandson's stoked. He says, it feels like I'm riding with Grandpa all over again. And the truck actually had taken on antique value, but Sportle, the seller, decided to sell it for what he paid for. So he just sounds like one of the salt of the earth individuals that we appreciate. And
yeah, he said he's going to preserve his grandfather's truck. Tom says he plans on replacing the suspension and the engine, but for now he plans to drive it in its original condition. So yeah, he's going to do a resto mod on that thing.
Fantastic. So we watched cartoons. We've watched a variety of movies back in the day, and there was always a desert island.
Mm-hmm.
And on the desert island that the unfortunate souls ended up, what would they do?
Get stuck in quicksand, bonk their heads on a coconut, and get amnesia until someone bonked them on the head a second time.
You're forgetting the most important one.
What's that?
They etch out SOS in the sand.
Yep.
Stranded mariners were rescued from an island in Micronesia thanks to that SOS etched in the sand. It actually worked.
Yep.
3 stranded mariners were rescued from a remote island in Micronesia on Monday.
Baseball players?
Who knows? On Monday, after a search crew spotted their SOS message written in the sand. 3-person crew of a skiff had not been heard from since July the 29th and were reported missing on July 31st. The mariners were reportedly sailing a 23 nautical mile journey. That sounds like a 3-hour tour to me.
Mm-hmm.
From Palu Atolls in the Federated States of Micronesia in the Western Pacific. It's a mouthful. When they sailed off course and ran out of fuel. So the U.S. and Australian military aircraft located the castaways on the beach of Pikelet Island on August the 1st. We were towards the end of our search pattern, according to Lieutenant Jason Palamarayan, who is an Air Force pilot. We were towards the end of our search pattern. We turned to avoid some rain showers, and that's when we looked down and just happened to see the island. So we decided to check it out, and that's when we saw SOS and a boat right next to it on the beach. So yes, the SOS sign that we seen, yes, the quicksand ain't real. The bopping of the coconuts is probably not real. But if you do find yourself on a deserted island, either have rocks or find a way to put that SOS.
Yeah, there's a cool YouTube
Absolutely.
channel where this guy goes around California and he finds like old locations of like MASH and all that.
Yep.
But clearly Gilligan's Island was shot at the back of the Universal lot.
Mm-hmm.
Or NBC lot, whoever's. Anyhow, he used Google Maps and some old overhead footage and shows you where the lagoon has since been filled in. It's now a parking lot. It's called the Lagoon Parking. But he shows like old overhead like plane footage where they had the set up, and which interestingly they had the lagoon here and the huts, and then on the other side of the lot you had the Hogan's Heroes concentration camp and all that stuff was all done at the same time. But it's interesting to see how things were shot on the lots back in the day.
Hey, check out Martin Mazika's
Yeah, I was reading that.
comment.
It's mighty
Okay.
wordy.
It's a little wordy, but while you're going through it, Germans are a hardy people, right?
Jawohl.
The German nudist chases down a boar who snatches his laptop. And yes, you heard that right. I will read that one more time, a whole lot slower. Sorry. German nudist chases down boar who snatched his laptop. Ireland. A German nudist has had the last laugh, because you know, he who laughs last, laughs last, or whatever. German nudist has had the last laugh after giving chase to a wild boar that had run off with the bag containing his laptop. Pictures posted on social media show a naked man running after a sow and her 2 piglets. Okay, I'm thinking more hillbilly comedy with this, but I'll bite. It's German. To the mirth of the fellow bathers. So there were fellow nudist bathers watching this going on at Berlin's Teufeles or Devil's Lake. Adele Landauer, an actor and coach who says she took the pictures, wrote that the pigs first helped themselves to somebody's pizza before absconding with the bag. When the owner realized what happened, he gave it his all. He chased that son of a bitch down and he recovered it. And when he came back with his yellow bag in hand, we all clapped and congratulated him for his success. Landauer said she showed the man the pictures and he laughed loudly, as you can only imagine Germans do, and authorized me to publish them. So wild boars are common in the forests around Berlin and and in Texas, and can occasionally be seen venturing through the city's parks in search for food. Do you all have boar problems out in Florida?
You see them running around every once in a while. There's quite a community of boar hunters down here, so they keep them pretty well thinned out. Every once in a while, you'll see a mom and a few babies rummaging around. But where I'm at, out in Lehigh and LaBelle and Alva, you'll see them more than here in Cape Coral.
Who's the hardiest people in the United States who won't let anybody tell them what the fuck to do? Think of a clique of people or a subculture of people.
Irish.
Bikers.
Yeah.
As we know, bikers have descended on the Sturgis.
Yeah.
With very few.
No, bikers
masks
haven't descended on. Well, yeah, bikers. Okay, I got you. Yep.
So the big Sturgis rally is going on. They're thinking about 250,000 people, and it will be interesting to see how this one plays out. Some of the people are avoiding the bars and nightclubs that line the city's main drag this year, but many others did not. They didn't care, just, whatever. So, hey, I am glad to see people out there. I think this will be an interesting experiment. Hopefully it ends up better for us all than not. So enjoy your freedoms out there, guys. Stay safe and, enjoy that, because Deadwood is Sturgis is an interesting town. And I've been through it once, not during the bike, but when I went to Black Hills. That's all I have for the news.
Sadly, I've never been there. I've been through North Cadota, but I've never been through that area.
South Cadota?
Yep. That's going to wrap up another episode of the What's in Your Head podcast. I got a headache coming on anyhow. And if you haven't checked out the new Call of Duty Warzone update, they have popped the lid on the stadium, so now you can go inside, so that's fun. And I started playing the co-op mode tonight, which is actually pretty cool. Who knows, Gordon, maybe we can hop off here or play tomorrow. But anyhow, head over to d-410.com. And by the way, we forgot to mention that this episode and every episode of the What's in Your Head podcast is brought to you by our friends at Computers. Thank you to OG5 Tony for bringing your gaming computer with your very cool water cooling system to allow us to fix your Windows 10. But Computers has been providing IT solutions to all Southwest Florida since 2005. They can help you remotely over the internet. Give them a call at 239-283-1120. And through some short walking through the website, they can log in your computer and help you with all your computer repair problems. If you're here in Southwest Florida, give them a call at 239-283-1120 or find them on Facebook or Twitter. And they can help you with your businesses, your domains, footprints for technology, Wi-Fi, TVs, security cameras, laptop repair, desktop repair, and just about anything. So give them a call at 239-283-1120. And right now they can help you with your online backups for 7 cents per gig a month. Make sure you get all your stuff backed up. I actually had a computer on the bench this week, had over 4,000 pieces of malware and 800 viruses. This is the dirtiest machine I've had in a long time, because how did we figure it out? We installed the Threat Track Security on their computer last week, and when I checked my dashboard, they were at the top of the list of computers needing help, so I brought it into my shop and got it all cleaned up. Give us a call at 239-283-1120. We can help you out with antivirus and online backup, even if you're not here in the state. And while you're on the internet, head over to d-410.com or what'sinyourhead.com. Click on that Patreon link, sign up. It's $1 a month. Get some stickers and goodies. I got to get the sticker links up there and all that good stuff. Find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Gordon, where can people find you?
I can be found at Aegis1974 on Instagram, Gordon at D410 on Facebook, and Abernathy.Gordon on Twitter. You guys have a wonderful week. We will holler at you next Saturday.
And remember, if you never get out of your comfort zone, you'll never get out of bed. So get up and challenge yourself and enjoy life.
This has been a Digital 410 production.